Hey guys, welcome back and welcome back to 2019. This is the first video that I've sat down and filmed for this year, but also quite a while. Feels good to be back though. It feels good to be sitting down and doing something that I've pre-planned. Vlogmas was so great and I want to say thank you to you guys for all your comments, your support, just watching the videos all month. I had such a fun time doing it and I think it was probably my best Vlogmas yet, so I was really happy with that. So today I have my annual yearly roundup of the best from the previous year. I actually looked back, as I do whenever I'm planning these, at the previous ones, and this is actually the 6th year I've been doing this. So it goes all the way back to 2013. You can have a good look through the years, look through the hairstyles if you go back and watch those. I do have a playlist, I'm going to link that down below if you fancy seeing what mascara I was into in 2015. This video is going to be long enough as it is. I'm going to try and quickly go through everything. I've got skincare, makeup, hair bits and some other randoms thrown in. Let's get on with the best of 2018, my beauty favorites. So I'm going to start with makeup as per usual. The first category is primer, and for this I've picked the Smashbox Photofinish Primerizer, which really is the only primer I've used to the point where you can kind of see it's down to its last little dregs. I feel like this is a year that I haven't explored makeup too much, so once I find a favourite I've stuck to it, and you're probably going to see quite a few things in this video that I talk about a bunch. But this one is a favourite for me. It's really great for hydrating dry skin, which is what I have. It's not the kind of primer that really sticks your makeup to your face and helps it last all day long, but for me this makes my makeup look a lot fresher and glowy and just generally more moisturised. So best foundation, I think you guys can probably guess, I had to pick this one. It's the Clarins Skin Illusion. This came into my life not so long ago, but it has been the only, and I really mean the only base product that I've reached for since it did. It's the perfect combination of lightweight, glowy, easy to blend, easy to wear, and also the coverage is very buildable, so you can get something really sheer and nice with this, or you can really build it up to be quite full coverage. It's kind of a very multi-use one, and I forever just love the little pipette. Some great fun times squeezing it all over my face pretending to be a scientist. So best tinted moisturiser is going to a new find this year. This is from Milk Makeup and it's a funny little thing. This is the Sunshine Skin Tint and it basically is a rollable. So this you kind of pump up at the bottom here and the little rollable on the top kind of glides across your skin. The formula of this is what just wows me. It's so creamy and rich and it feels really, really hydrating, and yet it sticks around on your face, and the coverage is actually very good. Very full coverage for a tinted moisturiser, but still something that feels like you're not really wearing anything on your skin. Also has SPF 30 in it, which I think is really, really good. And yes, I wish Milk Makeup would come to the UK. I did hear a rumour a while ago, that's just popped back into my brain, that it was coming here. If it does, I will be the first person to let you know, because I really, really like all the products that I've tried from them so far. So best concealer is going to go second year running to the Glossier Stretch Concealer. I just can't fault this, it's so good. The key for me when I use this is getting a sponge into it. So I take a beauty blender or a beauty sponge and actually kind of put it straight into the pot and then put it on my face, and that to me just gives the most covering, even, blendable layer of concealer, and I just absolutely love it. It's been one that's a constant in my routine. I never don't reach for this. It's also very versatile from summer to winter, so in summer I was just wearing this and bronzer on my face and nothing else, and in winter it still fits in my routine of having a slightly fuller coverage. So best powder, again no surprises, is going to go to the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. This poor thing is quite battered. I think I should maybe buy a new one. There's not much more I can say about this. I think it's had 3 years on the trot now of being in the best powder category. It's just so lightweight, it's so finely milled. It doesn't feel like a powder, and yet it helps my makeup stay so long and still doesn't look too cakey and too kind of powdery and matte, because we all know I don't like a matte finish, not at all. So best bronzer is gonna go, no surprises, to probably one of my favorite products of all time. It's the Clinique Chubby Stick Sculpting Contour. I always struggle with the name of that. I just want to call it the bronzy stick. If you're taking name ideas, Clinique, let me know. I've always been a cream bronzer girl. I just really love the way they blend into skin, and this one is just so easy. It's just a big chunky crayon that you can draw wherever you want. And the best thing about it is that it blends out so evenly and so sheer. So it's not like you're putting an extreme amount of bronzer or contour on. It's just a really nice light wash of colour. And for that, I absolutely love it. Blusher is where things are heating up a little bit. This is where I struggle to pick just one thing. I'm going to start with cream blusher first, and this is going to be no surprises again to you guys. This is the Bobbi Brown Pot Rouge in powder pink. It's just the blush that I wear every single day. Without fail, I will be reaching for this. The consistency of it is so nice. It's glowy and yet it's not sticky on my cheeks. The colour payoff's great and it is a really, really gorgeous shade. It's just a very natural pink, this one. I think there's been probably far too many everyday makeup routines that I've done where I use this now, so it is an absolute favourite for me. And then for powder blush, I have two. These are both quite different though, so I'm allowing myself that, it's okay. So we have a NARS blush and a Charlotte Tilbury blush. I feel like this is the one that I loved in the first part of the year, and this is the one I loved more so towards the end. I always go back through my favourites videos and the other videos that I've made throughout the year to kind of check in with what I was wearing, what I was talking about, so that it's a more consistent base of yearly favourites rather than just things I'm liking at the moment. So this is NARS Madly. It's a very natural kind of blush. Definitely one I was wearing a lot in summer and in winter as well. It's a really kind of neutral, slightly pink browny kind of colour. I think it's completely matte, although looking at it now it does have some kind of shimmer in it. But it's such a great one if you like a very natural look. And then the Charlotte Tilbury blush is the Cheek to Chic in Pillow Talk. So Pillow Talk is obviously the iconic Charlotte Tilbury lip liner, which she then brought out in a lipstick and then continued that with a blush and an eye palette as well. All of those I absolutely adore. They're just the perfect pink shade. And this one is so nice. It has a really kind of gorgeous rosy tone around the edge, and then the center is a very kind of like highlighty gold colour. It's beautiful. It's a blush that I've worn a ton, so I had to include it in this video, of course. And then actual favourite highlighter was kind of a tricky one because I haven't really been wearing highlighter that much. So I had a look back at my videos, I had a think, and this is the one that I was wearing the most. It's from NARS and it is a limited edition. They do not make this anymore. I do feel slightly guilty about that, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So this is from the NARS Man Ray collaboration. It's called Double Take and it's a very glowy, very champagne-y, shimmery pink highlighter. It's got the most gorgeous, you can still kind of see imprint of lips in there. You can put this all over your face. It's not the kind of highlighter that you just want to stick to cheekbones. You can kind of use this all over for a really subtle but radiant glow. It's amazing. Best brow product is a new entry to the category. I kind of gave up after so many failed attempts at using the Anastasia Brow Wiz, which just used to break on me the second I bought it. The packaging is just not what it used to be, unfortunately. So I switched out to this, which is the Benefit Precisely My Brow. It's a very similar kind of pencil. You have one end with a very thin, precise pencil on it, and then the other end has a spoolie. And to me, having a little brush on the end of a brow product is essential. I don't really see the point of not having one. You're gonna have to use it, and carrying around something separate is just, it's too much. So that's my very high maintenance opinion on brow products, but these to me are just as good, if not better. They're actually slightly more pigmented than the Anastasia ones, which means that you can go a little bit more heavy-handed, but it also means that you use less product. So I'm really happy with these and glad that I found an alternative. I have the shades 2 and 3.5 here, which are both not right for me. I'm actually number 3 at the moment, but I need to get my hands on one of those. For now though, we officially have a new favourite brow product. Favourite eyeliner is one that I don't think I've talked about before, but it is a constant, again, in my makeup routine. And this is from NARS. Lots of NARS being mentioned here, lots of NARS and Charlotte Tilbury. This is the kohl liner, which they actually do a whole range of. The black kohl liner is probably one of the best black eyeliners you can possibly find. It's smudgy and really, really pigmented, but once it sets, it's there. It's not going to budge. And this is very similar, but it's a brown. I'm always a fan of brown over black. I think it's just a bit warmer and it kind of brightens up my face more. So this is just a very kind of chocolatey dark brown eyeliner, but it's such an essential. I always smudge this into my lashes. I use it sometimes on my waterline if I want a darker look. It just does such a good job of defining, and the formula formula, like I said, is just amazing, so I really couldn't be without this. So favourite eyeshadow was kind of a tricky one because I haven't actually been wearing that much eyeshadow at all. If you've been watching my kind of makeup routines that I've been putting up, the kind of eyeshadow that I tend to go for is just bronzer, smudged into the crease of my eye and then a bit on my lid just to sort of warm everything up. So when I have been reaching for eyeshadow, it's not all that often, but there is one that I do really like. I have it on today as well, if you're wondering what I was wearing on my eyes, and it's from Glossier. It's their Lidstar in the colour Herb, and I'm always so drawn to colours like this. It's like a greeny, olivey kind of colour. Reminds me a lot of MAC Sumptuous Olive, which I used to wear all the time and really liked. But the formulas of these are great. They're very sheer. And they go on with a little doe for applicator, which I think is really handy to build more colour. There's also quite a few other colours that I really like in the Lidstar shadows, but to me, this is just the one. I enjoy it, and it's, yeah, probably the eyeshadow that I've reached for the most this year. So mascara of the year is always a tricky one to pick because I'm never that faithful to mascaras. I tend to kind of just dip in and out of what I have, to the point where I can't actually remember the last mascara I bought myself. It might have been a Glossier one. I've picked the one that I'm currently wearing because I did go through a good couple of months of really loving this one and discovered it earlier in the year. After I ran out of it, I didn't rush to repurchase it just because I had so many others to use up, but I'm back using it now and I just don't know why I ever stopped really. It's the Lancôme Monsieur Big Mascara. It's a very chunky one. It has a good thick one to it. I like that a lot. It gives a good fast lash. When I say fast lash, I just mean it's quick. It takes one coat and I don't have to sit there for hours putting mascara on because I am lazy. So that to me is always a big draw when it comes to mascara, if I can get it on quick. It's thickening, it's lengthening, it just does a good job, and it doesn't smudge on me either, which is another big thing. Most mascaras do tend to kind of get under my eyes and look really pandery, but this one, it doesn't do that. So that always impresses me. So I have to put Monsieur Big #1 mascara of the year. So I'd usually do a separate face palette and eye palette category. As I said before, I haven't been reaching for eye palettes because I barely want eyeshadow. So I have a kind of combination of the two. This is another one from NARS, and it's also another limited edition that's no longer available. So sorry about that again, but this is one that I have used so much. If I've been reaching for a palette, it has been this one. It's the Atomic Blonde Eye and Cheek palette. I think they did a few of these in different hair colours, so there was a brunette and maybe an auburn one, but this one is just a bunch of neutrals. It has a bronzer and a highlighter, which I actually use mainly this one for eyeshadow and this one to highlight, and then a few other colours that are quite shimmery and pretty at the bottom. When it comes to palettes, I think I just like ones that are multi-use and worth the space they take up. So to me, this is very well used and has quite a lot of function. I feel like I've become very sensible in my old age. Functionality is important, obviously, to me now. So that is my winner for best palette overall, best face palette, best eye palette, best palette in general. So let's move on to lip products. And the first category I have here is Tinted Lip Balm, which is a very specific one. I'm not sure why I have that category, but there is a product that does fall into it, which is from Herbivore. So Herbivore are a brand that you're probably going to see quite a bit throughout this video that I was introduced to this year. They're very minimal, they're very cool, and I do actually like a lot of their stuff. This is the Cocoa Rose lip tint. It's also a cheek tint, so you can kind of use it wherever you want to. I prefer to use this on my lips, and it's a really nice like rosy, browny, cocoa-y kind of colour. It's maybe not the most moisturising when it comes to lip products, but it is such a flattering colour, and the way that the pigment goes on is really sheer and natural, and I really like the shade of it, so I've used that a lot this year for sure. I realise that I keep saying this year and not last year. It's gonna get confusing, sorry about that. My brain has yet to catch up. So best lip liner is gonna go to a discontinued product, one which I really like and wish they hadn't gotten rid of. Is the Makeup Forever Aqua Lip in 3C. This is basically the colour of my lips, which is amazing to find. So great for kind of just evening everything out, giving myself a bit of a fuller lip, but still looking very natural because it is just the shade of my own lips. And then best lipstick, I would normally have a few categories for this. I'd have best lipstick, best liquid lip, maybe even best bold and best nude. but I can't really think of any other lip colour that I've worn this year other than this. There's been an odd few days where I've gone for a red or something slightly different, but this has been the only thing I have worn, to the point where I think it's run out now. I need to get a new one. It's the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Abu Dhabi. I just love this so much. I can't really tell you what's so special about this other than it's just such a nice nude, neutral browny pink colour. It's very similar to the Makeup Forever lip liner, just a little bit more brown, and I've been enjoying that nude brown kind of look when it comes to lips, keeping my makeup more simple, I think, and not really going for any bright and bold colours. So this has been an absolute must for me. These formulas are so great. They're not quite a liquid lipstick, but they last while still being very comfortable, and they are just so affordable. So I cannot get enough of this. I should probably stock up on them just in case I get rid of this colour. Two last categories in makeup are some tools. I've got best brush and best makeup tool in general. The best brush goes to the NARS Yachiyo, which is something that I've had for a long time, and I didn't realise until I thought about it, but I use this for everything. Any powder product I use, whether that's setting powder, bronzer, blusher, even eyeshadow sometimes, I use this. Partly because I'm lazy and partly because it's just the perfect shaped brush. The bristles aren't very densely packed, they're quite light, so you can't be too heavy-handed with this. I think it is impossible to put too much product on with this brush. And then best tool goes for a pair of eyelash curlers, of course. Everybody hypes up the Shuamura eyelash curlers, but for me, Kevin Aquan, you are the one. These are so good and they make such a difference. I think that's the same to be said with any lash curler, but these have been going strong now for a good couple of years and I love them. So I hope everybody's still here because we are moving swiftly on to the category of skincare. You may have paused this video by now, you may have clicked off, but I hope not, because we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. And I feel like I haven't really mentioned much skincare in the past year. I haven't really talked about my routine as a whole, although it is a pretty solid routine now. I have my favourites and I have stuck to them. So let's start with best makeup remover, and this is kind of a wild card, but just probably the best thing I've ever used to take my makeup off. It's the La Roche-Posay Makeup Remover Milk, and I realised recently that I used this completely in the wrong way. You're supposed to put it on cotton wool and take your makeup off that way, but I just take a good couple of pumps of this, massage it all over my makeup, no water, just as it is, and then take it off with a damp cloth, and it's amazing. It removes absolutely everything. It's better than any micellar water I've ever used, better than any other cleanser. It just draws the makeup off your face and it's still very hydrating too. It doesn't leave my skin feeling irritated. It is actually for sensitive skin, and as we know, La Roche-Posay are just one of my absolute faves. Best cleanser, no surprises, not even gonna bother to talk about it. Oskia Renaissance Cleansing Gel. I don't think I've ever had anything different for best cleanser. 6 years running, still love it. Best toner slash exfoliator, because the only toners I do use nowadays are ones that are specifically for exfoliating. This is a new one to the favourites list, and it is from Glossier. It's their Solution. Exfoliating toners are super subjective. They are so dependent on your skin type, and I don't think there is a one fits all. I think you really have to try them and see which one suits your skin the best. For me, it's taken quite a while, but when I found this, I just knew it was perfect. It's a combination of AHA, BHA, PHA. I think they target this more towards acne, but for me it's just the perfect, very gentle way to exfoliate my skin daily. It makes it look so much brighter. I think the first week that I used this consistently, my pores looked a lot different, my skin just looked a lot more glowy, and touch wood, touch something, since I started using this maybe 6 to 9 months ago, I haven't had a dramatic breakout or even much of a blemish, and I really do put it down to this. So yeah, this one has been a massive deal in my skincare. Best facial mist is another one from Herbivore. It's the Rose Hibiscus Coconut Water. I sometimes use this after my toner just to kind of rebalance my skin and keep it hydrated. I also use this a lot over makeup if my skin looks a bit too dry. It's really refreshing. It smells amazing. Best serum I'm gonna give to the Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair this year. I don't think I've ever popped this into my best of video, but it is such a constant and something that I rely on every single night. It fixes my skin no matter what is wrong with it. It keeps it so hydrated, and I actually feel quite naked at night if I don't have this on. So although this is a pricey one, probably one of, if not the most expensive skincare item I have, I think it is so worth it. There is nothing else like this, and I probably couldn't be without it. Best facial oil is one that I have really enjoyed using this year. It's another one from Herbivore. It's the Orchid facial oil, and there is not a lot of it left. I love a facial oil in general, and I've dabbled in quite a few, but this one, once I found it, just became an absolute firm favourite for me, and I will buy another one when I run out because I don't want to be without it. It's quite a thin oil, so it glides on so easily, it sinks in beautifully, it smells amazing, and it just rehydrates my skin so well. It's not one of those oils that sits on top and doesn't really sink in. It does so many good things, to the point where I mix it in with my moisturiser in the day as well. I sometimes mix a few drops of this into my foundation. It's so multi-use, it's so good, and probably one of my favourite discoveries of the whole year. So best moisturiser, I don't actually have with me, but I have a similar one to hold up and show you. It's again from La Roche-Posay. It's from the Toleriane Ultra range, which is my go-to for moisturiser. I've tried a few throughout the year, but I always go back to this Hello Moon. It's so simple and light. It's the perfect kind of finishing touch to my skincare routine. It doesn't kind of mess with the other products that I've put on before it. And yeah, I really don't think you can get much better than French Pharmacy skincare. I've gone through so many tubes of this, and it's one that I always go back to. Best eye cream is a bit more of a fancy one. This is from Dior. And it's the Hydra Life Cream Sorbet. It's such a nice light one, and this year I've really found myself reaching for a more refreshing eye cream, so something that is quite soothing and cooling. It's the perfect fit for that, and it's just one that I've reached for so much. I find myself kind of just sitting somewhere in the house and thinking, ooh, I should go and put my Dior eye cream on. Best SPF is another one from La Roche-Posay. It's their Athelios 50 plus UVA, UVB, very high protection. This one is actually empty, but it was one that I had in my handbag. I had quite a few tubes of this and I used it so much over the summer. It's just a great all-round SPF. It's slightly thicker and more hydrating, but they do have a few different ones depending on your skin type, so there is a lighter version available. Love this though. Some days it was the only skincare product I was really using. Best mask is one from Pixi. It's the Peel and Polish Resurfacing Concentrate, and I kind of stick this in again in the exfoliator category because I only really pull this out when I feel like my skin needs a refresh. So I do like to use chemical exfoliators, but sometimes I just feel like I need to scrub my face a little bit. I try not to use this too often because I don't want to be too abrasive with my skin, but this is kind of a combination actually. It's an enzyme peel and a scrub combined. It's got natural fruit enzymes that kind of scrub away at your skin, as well as the kind of little exfoliating beads in it. And I do feel when I use this that my skin is just refreshed. It's super bright and really glowy, and it just gets rid of all those little dead skin cells that you can't quite fix with just a chemical exfoliant on its own. So I always reach for this when I feel like I need it, and it's really the only mask that I use consistently, so I'm going to pop this in as best mask of the year. Last in this category is lip balm. I'm going to give the best lip balm to By Terry. This is the Balm de Rose. It's taken me a few years to come around to this, but now it's just my go-to. It smells amazing. I've really come to love the smell of rose so much, and it is so hydrating. It's one of those lip balms that you put on in the evening and then wake up again in the morning and it's still there. So that to me is the mark of a really good, really hydrating lip product. I think it is worth the hype that it gets, for sure, this little lip balm. Right, let's talk about some hair products before we all fall asleep. I haven't really talked much about hair. I don't tend to mention it that often in these favourites videos, but I thought this year, why not? I feel like my hair is in a good place at the moment. It feels healthier than it ever has before since I got most of that bleach out. Is probably one of the reasons, but I have been doing very different things to it. So my first favorite is going to be Best Shampoo, and this is actually the only thing I use in the shower at all. It's from Christophe Robin, and it's the antioxidant cleansing milk. I've really been looking into co-washing and all the various forms of that this year because I just wanted to wash my hair less. I probably wash my hair with this once a week, although I do get it wet and kind of just scrub it in between that. I basically just wanted to use less shampoo, and and this is the perfect product for that. It does really kind of cleanse your hair, but it doesn't soap up and it doesn't make it very dry, feeling like you've just used a whole bunch of shampoo on it. I can't think of a time when I've stuck so religiously to one shampoo or one hair cleansing product as I have done with this. Best conditioner is going to be a leave-in one. I sometimes spray this Szechuan leave-in conditioner into the ends of my hair if I feel like it needs a bit more hydration, and it's a really nice lightweight one to do that with. I don't always reach for it, but when I do, it's going to be this one here. And then best styling product is going to go to something quite different and something that I have fallen in love with this year. So as well as not washing my hair too much, I've been trying not to blow dry it too often. I still blow dry it a lot, but sometimes I do just like to leave it to dry on its own. And normally my hair will go incredibly frizzy and curly and knotty if I do that. And then I found this miracle product. This is from Way and it's called the Air Dry Foam, and it's basically a very watery mousse that you put all over your wet hair and then just leave. It doesn't add any weight or any product feeling in your hair, but it just makes it dry into the most perfect silky, wavy, because to me my hair texture is slightly waved, amazing natural French girl bedhead. I can't think of any more adjectives. It's amazing and definitely my favourite styling product. So best dry shampoo, which is a very important category. Dry shampoo is probably the thing I use the most, especially now I wash my hair less. And it's gone this year to the IGK First Class Charcoal Detox Dry Shampoo. They have quite a few different dry shampoos from the range, but this one is probably their more heavy duty one. Not only does this work incredibly well at getting rid of grease and making my hair just feel clean again, it also has such a good amount of texture to it, so it doesn't feel gritty in any way, but it just for some reason makes my hair look fuller. Sometimes I just use this after I've washed my hair to give it a bit of texture. It smells great too, and it's just probably the only dry shampoo that I'm gonna reach for from now on. So best styling tool, I would normally reach for some kind of curling type of thing, although I've barely worn my hair curly this year. I have occasionally, but I've been feeling the straight hair vibe for some reason, and I have to pick my Dyson hairdryer as my best tool. This thing is ridiculously pricey and kind of sickeningly so, but it is so worth it, and I don't think I'd ever say that about a hairdryer, but I think this has changed my hair. I think it's one of the reasons that it's healthier feeling. I think it's one of the reasons that I don't have to really do anything but blow dry it now. It gives it such a shine and it finishes it off so nicely. There's just nothing else like it, and it is just down to the sciencey technology in this, which I'm not going to pretend to understand. I think if you're looking to invest in a hairdryer, it's so worth saving up for one of these because it's just changed the way I style my hair so much. So let's round this up with a few last little bits that I've thrown in. We're gonna basically be talking about body. I'm gonna start with best body wash, which is a strange category, but it's one that I have an absolute favourite for. This is the Glossier Body Hero oil wash. This is the only thing that I've used in the shower to wash my body with for probably the entire year. It's such a different product to normal shower gels, but it makes my skin feel so much better. It's so hydrating. I never kind of get out of the shower and feel dry and tight and like a little lizard person. I love oils in general, and I feel like using oil in any step that I possibly can is going to be a winner for me. So this is probably my 10th bottle. I maybe even use one of these a month, but it's just so good and it smells amazing too. Best body lotion is one that I've talked quite a lot about before. It's the Neutrogena Hydro Boost, and again I go through this so much. I've really kind of dedicated myself to using body cream after every shower or bath that I take this year, and I've really stuck to it. I don't often stick to things, but this has been one that I have, and this is so affordable. It's such a massive bottle for a really great price, and it's the perfect lightweight moisturizer that's still really hydrating but sinks in so quickly you can literally get dressed straight away. And then finally we are at the last category of this video today, best fragrance. This is always one that I kind of and ah over because I do like my fragrances a lot, and I kind of go through phases of liking different ones, and I especially think it's very dependent on the time of year. But overall, I've decided that this year my favourite perfume was from Diptyque, no surprises, and it's this one here, which is Eau de Well. I can't explain to you how warm this makes me feel inside. It's the most amazing vanilla kind of scent, and vanilla can be quite light and quite fresh, but to me this is just super musky and deep and warm, which would kind of lead it to being more of a winter fragrance, but I have worn this all year round and just loved it. I used to always wear the Body Shop Vanilla body spray, and this to me is the grown-up version of that. So if you like vanilla, which I think is probably a universally loved scent, this fragrance here from Diptyque is going to be something you're going to want to smell. Okay guys, so here we are at the end of probably my longest video to date, if my rambling is anything to go by, but I hope you've enjoyed that. I love sitting down and making these videos every year. Not only are they so fun to film and plan, but I really like looking back on them too. So I hope you feel the same way, and I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to sign off really quickly and say goodbye because I think this is long enough. I'm going to be doing as well a style version of this video, so I'm going to be doing a clothing roundup from the previous year, which is going to be my next video, I think. So keep an eye out for that. And until then, that is it from me. I will see you all soon. Bye.